Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and in this video I'm going to be having lunch at McDonald's. Now I know that doesn't sound very exciting for a video, but this is not just any McDonald's. This is the world's first McDonald's restaurant, which is here in San Bernardino, California, but they have also turned it into a McDonald's museum. So let me show you around and then I'm going to have lunch. There's their famous original sign, and outside the building they have some very interesting things painted on the wall, which they claim is the world's most detailed mural. And I think this is supposed to be the Hollywood sign. It is very detailed, and they also have these little kids' cars. I'm not sure why. But let's start from the back and look at this mural. There's the railroad that runs along, I guess that's the one that runs along Interstate 15 going to Las Vegas. And look at this. There's Barstow. That's on the way to Vegas. This is quite a lineup of big trucks they have painted here. San Bernardino County Museum and some other notable things in the area here. They even show some dinosaurs with a very disturbing news it looks like they're getting. There's a row of motorcycles and more of the railroad cars here. I think some of these might be sponsors of this. La Brea Tar Pits, and there is the Hollywood sign up on the hills. Route 66. Well, I'm going to go in and take a look at the inside now. But first, below their big sign, they have this and more murals out front. And this one is of the original McDonald's. I remember those prices back in the 60s. I think that's what they were even back then. Welcome to the original McDonald's, and this is their disclaimer: we don't sell any 15-cent hamburgers. Here's a picture of the McDonald's. Looks like they're brothers. And right next door they also have this military museum if you're interested in that. On the wall here they have a history of McDonald's in these posters. You can see the years that they're for. And there's one of their original menus. So in all of these glass cases, they have all sorts of early memorabilia of McDonald's. All these little characters. A lot of little toys and things. So you can spend a lot of time looking at all the detail of these things. And they have some samples of things from McDonald's in other countries. There's Germany, Russia. I remember when McDonald's went into Russia, and I found out that they had to sell all of their products for rubles, but it was illegal to remove rubles from Russia. So the way McDonald's was able to take their profits out was to use their profits to buy vodka, Russian vodka, and then they shipped the bottles of vodka to the US and sold them here. And that's how they got their profits out of the Russia McDonald's, which from day one was an amazingly successful business there. Canada, I think that whole case is Canada. This is Scotland. Brazil. Wow, look at all this stuff. Can you imagine what it took to collect all this? That's what really amazes me so much about museums, how they're able to get a hold of such things. And they have numerous rows of these cabinets behind glass of all of their little toys and things. It's a pretty amazing collection. They also have some old Coke dispensers and a couple gas pumps. So these are nice museum pieces as well. I actually used to buy Cokes in 6.5-ounce bottles in a dispenser for a nickel. Half price of what you see here. That was in the mid-60s. They got a Ronald McDonald. And by the way, you can buy these old Ronald McDonald statues in a few places. You've probably seen some of these at McDonald's. You know, they've been taking away the McDonald's playlands, the locations that have all of the children's recreation equipment. They have been, most places I think have been taking them away. I think it's just a liability issue or something. Got a lot of nice things in here. We could spend all day long looking at all these things. Things you don't serve anymore. Pineapple pie, banana pie, sweet taro pie, corn pie. That's what it looks like. I'm sure you know McDonald's advertising department tends to get their fingers into every little thing that they can. And I remember when there was this big controversy about McDonald's sponsoring the Olympics. Some people thought that was not an appropriate fit for the Olympics. That's when it was in Los Angeles, 1984. I noticed that they have given up using the McBurglar. Some people didn't like him either. Wow, this is pretty amazing. And this is the movie they made about founding McDonald's, which I have not seen. I gotta find me a copy of that. These are cups actually used in the movie. I definitely gotta get me a copy of that movie. I bet that is really interesting. The murals continue on the other side of the building, and I was just talking to the owner of the place. It's a private museum. He said not associated with McDonald's. He said McDonald's really wasn't interested in participating in the museum, which is quite a surprise to me. He also said this was the original McDonald's location, but everything had been torn down and it was rebuilt as a music store in this location. And then about 20 years ago, this guy bought it out and turned it into the museum. There's no admission fee, and there's not much in there to sell. They're not selling like all sorts of souvenirs, so I'm wondering how they're keeping the place in business. And by the way, if you come here in your RV, you'll find that right across the street there is a big empty lot where you can park your RV, so that's convenient. It's called the Historic McDonald's Museum. So now I'm going to go and find the nearest McDonald's where I can have lunch. Well, I did find the closest McDonald's, which actually is on Route 66. And I ordered something that you won't find on any McDonald's menu anywhere, but if you ask them, they will make it. It's a double fish sandwich, and it's only $5. How about that? Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Good day, folks.